Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get a whole lot out, so my cadence is going to be a little bit different because I may talk a little bit slower than I normally do to get my point out. America has a very good way of dehumanizing people without money. I mean, just look at the way this country and people in this country look down on people that don't have a house, homeless people, people that live outside, people that live out on the street. Over the last few days, I've been doing a lot of walking around here, on 4th of July. I've been doing a lot of exercising, going downtown. I've been seeing a lot of homeless people laying out in the heat. There was an old man laying out there when I went live yet last night that has been out there. He was out there last night, and when I went out to work out this morning, he was still down there, making me think, is the man dead? Because there's no goddamn way he's still laying in the same spot. And there has been thousands of people at this point. This is right on Las Vegas Boulevard that has passed that man. And I don't know if anybody's kicked him or checked on him. I mean, I know I didn't. I can't say why, but I just know that there's a certain apathy that even exists in me. A person who's lived out on the street that's just like, no, just leave it be. He's probably fine. He's probably just drunk. He's probably just coming down. But I can't help but think, and I almost want to go out there later once the sun go down to see if he's still laying out there, because if he's still laying out there, I would probably call 911 at that point, because what are we doing? But I know this city. I know how this city breathes, and unfortunately, when you do live around areas like this, you see that so often that a lot of times people do develop an apathy for it. But that's just an example of how people look down on people in society without money. Obviously, people that are living out on the street in 106-degree heat in Las Vegas probably don't have a lot of money to their name. And a lot of us are just gonna look right past them, just like I do every day. I'll make my videos, I'll make my lives, and just go on about my day, because what the fuck can I do? I can give you some money right now, but how would that money turn your life around? Maybe to give you some temporary comfort in a moment, whatever the case may be. It's a lot to us, heavy, right? But it is me prejudging these people before knowing anything about them. It's not necessarily me looking at them morally wrong, but it's even looking at them, like I say, with concern. Are you okay? But what can I do to help, right? And then I start thinking about my life. Well, you can't be thinking about helping other people when you haven't been able to help yourself. I've been poor my whole life. Most of my life, I have been fucking poor, especially as an adult. And that's nobody's fault but my own. It's nobody's fault but my own for me picking these menial jobs to work so that I don't have to overly stress myself out by being a part of management and getting a salary and worrying about losing this and not saying this at work. I like being able to have the flexibility of being a worker bee. I've always liked that, but at the same time, that comes at the cost of not having financial stability. And that's been my story most of my adult life, besides the times when I did manage like the Blockbuster, and I've had a couple other good jobs too where I made a decent amount of money. But for the most part, I've always had a level of struggle, especially having kids. I always felt that as long as my kids were fed, as long as me and their mom can provide some level of comfort in their life, as long as they wasn't destitute or out there on the street, we're doing a good job. But it's not necessarily true in this world, because this society requires that you always aspire to have more. And if you don't aspire to have more, then and you get stuck in complacency, you're going to be judged no differently than anybody else that is like laying out there on the street. In fact, people will look at you no different than I was looking at that man. Is it, well, shit, you've been stagnant for all this long. You're in your 40s or your 50s and you're working at McDonald's or Burger King or Olive Garden or wherever, right? And you're still stuck in that situation. Are you dead? So somebody needs to poke you with a stick, right? Like that is the attitude that people have in the United States of America. And I bring it up because, yesterday during the 4th of July, I was at work and I heard a couple of the waitresses talking, right? And one waitress, she went on a date with a guy and she started talking about her standards as far as like, going out with a guy. And she said she really liked this guy, but she had told this guy that she liked to go to expensive restaurants. And she let him know that even though I like going to expensive restaurants, if you pick the restaurant and we go to an expensive restaurant, I pay for myself. He still paid for her, whatever. They had a good time, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But it just got me thinking. I can't even afford to take a woman on a regular date, right? Not without falling behind on my rent. Not without stumbling over myself. What is it? A couple weeks ago, I bought GTA with some of my AdSense money. That was like my AdSense money I had in the tuck. And that shit put me behind because the next week was slow at work. I barely was able to get my rent money yesterday because the girl I was seeing loaned me fucking $2 to freaking pay for it. That's how backwards this shit is sometimes. You feel me? And that's why a lot of times we sit up here snacking on mangoes and cashews. Y'all be wondering what I be eating. This is what I be snacking on these days, because I'm literally out here trying to shape out, and you know what I mean, like trying to get right out here in these streets. And water. We trying to get right. You know what I mean? For life. And it's frustrating with my diet, like being a vegetarian, because of, you know, I be wanting some meat and all that, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But I look at my life and I look at this like series of L's. I keep taking L's. I know with every L, if like I learn something, right? I get experience. It is like a video game. It's like, all right, you failed this boss, but you did get some experience and some loot out of the situation. You good to go, right? You got to figure this out next time. You got to figure out how to move better next time. You know what I'm saying? But you do that so many times, you start getting frustrated with just life. And you look at, and if you're in my position at 43 years old, you look at that and you say, damn, can I ever have anything? You know, y'all seen me, I've made videos on here about not having a driver's license. That's a no-go in this country. How many videos have we seen of women looking down on men for not having a license? And how many women have I dealt with that in the beginning, me not having a license meant jack shit, because they liked the way I looked, or they like feeling on me, or like they liked sex, or they like spending time with me. But after a minute of time, me not having a vehicle becomes an inconvenience to them somehow. Even though I'm not asking them for a goddamn thing, you don't have to ride me nowhere, but it still becomes a thing in this country, because the social fabric of this country says that a man is supposed to have a vehicle to chariot you around. A man is supposed to have a license to chariot you around. Otherwise, he is a passenger princess. That's why they come up with these terms. It's to demoralize, dehumanize, and to make you feel less than when you don't have. Now imagine your license is revoked. Imagine you can't get a passport because of child support, because you had a failed relationship with a person with kids, and you fall behind in these economic times because, like I said, your jobs have never paid the dividends to like make all this fucking money to pay down the state and all this. So you lose your license. You only have to fall behind on child support $2,000 to lose your license. You fall behind. So that not having a license cuts even more into you being able to make money, and it affects other relationships and other things that you would like to do. Even friendships, when friends will want to go, oh, we can get together, we can do this. You can't do that, because the cusp of your money is always the cusp of your money is always relegated to paying to live, just to survive, right? If I sit up here and I contribute to the party, then I have to worry for the next week about how I'm gonna pay rent, especially if nobody's coming in a restaurant. That type of thinking, constantly thinking in poverty. So I'm sitting here on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Because I do some of my best thinking on the floor and in the shower, and sometimes on my walk. But when it's too hot, I start losing my faculties. Okay, so I don't think as well, you know. And I just look at myself and I'm like, bro, I'm judging myself harshly because society. I'm okay. I'm okay with having a regular job. I'm okay with being a worker bee, like I said. I'm okay with living in a hole in the wall. I'm okay with riding a scooter to work. I'm okay with all of that. Y'all don't hear me complain about none of that. The only reason I complain about it is because of the outside world, right? The outside world, and me trying to be a part of the outside world is impossible without having these things. You are looked down on when you don't have these things. And I know one day I will have these things, because my work ethic is above everybody else's. I know there's something has to come out of my effort. I know this. I'm not fucking oblivious to that. I know I just gotta keep grinding. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep trying to get to that next level. But when I get to that next level, when I do get to that next level, what's gonna be left of me? Of this person, the person that don't mind working a menial job, the person that don't mind living in a hole in the wall, the person that don't judge people based on the way that they look or the way that they present, or like what becomes of this person when the whole world has judged me negatively for not having, right? For not living up to this standard that is difficult for most people to honestly live up to. But fuck, bro, a nigga tries. Character be damned. And maybe my character is not so good. Maybe that's why I'm always by myself. Maybe that's why I don't have no friends. Maybe that's why I don't have no allies. I mean, y'all my allies besides, besides people that watch these videos, some of y'all. So I know I got some ops out there. And like I said yesterday, if you my op, let me know, because I don't want to get caught off guard by y'all niggas. We can go back and forth with this op shit. But no, seriously, I don't have no ops. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. It goes down to the social shit. Because when it comes to just living a menial life, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with doing that and vlogging it. I'm okay with, all right, y'all. Today we're gonna have some mango. Some dry mango. I mean, y'all had dry mango before. But here's some dry mango we're gonna have. Now, there's a couple types of dry mangoes I like. I like the regular dry mango. And I like the chili ones, but I don't feel like burning my mouth right now, so. Oh, that's good. I haven't had these. I haven't had this pack. These are really good. These are fresh. Dry mangoes. I also like dry pineapple too. Dry pineapple is really good at the same time. I don't know, man. I'm just going through it in my head, bro. I just like, you reflect sometime when you got the time. And you be like, bro, I'm still washing my clothes in the tub. I'm still like I said, ride my scooter to work. Even if I had money, for one, I wouldn't be clocking in at a restaurant. And number two, when I travel, even if I didn't have my license, I would just take Uber. I would just Uber every fucking where. If I needed to, if it was like too hot or whatever. But the heat don't bother me. I don't be on here bitching about no heat. The heat don't bother me. The cold bothers me. I do bitch about the cold and the rain. I do bitch about that. But the heat don't bother me out here. But I feel bad, like the girl was saying, she going through what she going through. Shit, I can't do nothing for that lady. Let's be honest. I can't do shit for that lady. I can't do shit for that lady. I can't do shit for the lady before her. I can't do shit for the lady before her. I can't do shit for the next lady right now. Unless I make something of myself to where I'm out of this situation, and I break my complacency, right? But I'm complacent, right? How do you break complacency? How do you break complacency to get to the next level and also retain your spirit, so you don't be looking down on people that looked down on you before? You feel me? Like, how do you do that? How do you get to that point and be like, fuck you, or not be like, fuck you. How do people do that? I think it's God. It gotta be God. Because at the end of the day, when I'm feeling like ass, and I don't necessarily feel like ass right now. I'm just very reflective in these thoughts. And when I'm reflective in these thoughts and there's nobody to talk to, I just honestly talk to God, bro. And I ask God for all the answers. And God gives clarity to a lot of things. And if I'm able to just walk the path that God has shown me, and most of us have that voice in our head. No, I don't. You can hear your voice. You can hear the voice of God. Just like your body, that's the temple of God. There are spirits. There's a spirit of God in you somewhere, hopefully. I mean, some people probably ain't got it, that tells you exactly what direction you have to go in. It's just that when God tells you what direction to go in, a lot of times that path is kind of difficult. In fact, that's probably the most difficult path. You know what I'm saying? But it nets the best rewards. It's probably the most risk. It's probably the most pain. It's probably the most turmoil. But it's probably going to be the most reward out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even right now, I want to drink an energy drink. Of course I do. I want to drink an energy drink. But there's results I want that I know I can't be in here drinking sodas. I know I can't be in here drinking energy drinks. If I'm trying to get some certain results as far as my body, as far as this certain vanity projects I'm working on right now, I know the path. I know what I have to do. It's just that, do I have the willpower, the free will, and the willpower to do it, to act on it? The path has been laid before me, right? The path has shown me, if this is what you want in life, this is what you have to do. Because I pray on that shit, and literally the clarity comes to me. It can't just be oh, I just don't have to pray for that and clarity coming. No, that gotta be God talking to me, bro, telling me exactly this is what. And when you look into it, though the path that God gives you is never fucked up. It's literally the path. But that path is always difficult because it's the most steps you got to take. It's going to take the most failures. It's going to take the most L's. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the season of my life that I'm living in. That's probably what God is taking me through so that I can get out on the other side, get my teeth fixed so I'm not spitting and goddamn wiping the sides of my mouth and all that. You know what I mean? Don't keep having fucking toothaches and shit. And I can become the man that I want to be, right? And then, what is the man? Who is the man I want to be? Who is the man beyond this that I want to be? Well, that man is a man that is useful to others that he cares about, to the ladies in his life, to his kids, to his mother, shit, to his brother and his nieces and nephew. That's the person I want to be. But the economics, I'm trying to climb to get to them economics so I can be that person. And why they gotta be economics? I wish I could just be just the joyful uncle. And I'm a joyful person. I'm a joyous person when you get to know me sometimes. So other people are like, no, you don't. You talk too much about content and the government, and no, you ain't joyous. But I feel like I'm full of joy, okay? Yeah, I wish that meant something. That shit don't mean nothing if Unky can't travel. If Daddy can't travel. If Daddy don't have a car, Daddy can't pick up Mommy. If Daddy don't have a car and I'm stranded somewhere, how the fuck am I gonna get somewhere? You know, on the wind, on a hope and a goddamn prayer. You know, I'm good though. You know what I'm saying? So I always say I can get around regardless. Whether it was on a fucking tricycle, a scooter, the motherfucking bus system, however, I figure it out. But you know, I won't batter out of life. I'm seeing young people that have not even lived a fraction of the time I've lived go out there and get the bag. Sometimes it's off of some unscrupulous means like the get that challenge, get the money, that shit that's all controversy right now, scamming this and scamming that and going down. That shit is dumb, right? But it gets these people results. This straight and narrow shit I've been walking, this safe path shit, where's it got me? Where's it got me? You know? Hard dick and bubble gum. Hard dick and fucking and mango slices. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys, it was just a vlog. I'm just vlogging, bro. We just vlogging. We just talking. I gotta work Monday through Friday this week, which is irritating because I told them to take me off the schedule on Mondays because I want to do content on Mondays. But here I am, all week, still. Like, why am I in there on Monday? Most Mondays, I literally go in there. I'm there for about 2 hours. I make probably about $40, if that, if I'm lucky, and I come out of there. I don't want to come on Mondays. Sometimes Mondays are popping. And it's not even that. It's just that I want that Sunday and that Monday to be able to just do my shit, get shit together for the rest of the week. So I'm not like, I want to film this video about this, or I want to film this video about that, but it's late in the day and I have these huge ass bags under my eyes. I always got the bags under my eyes, but y'all probably see my skin is all like shine, all greasy and shit, like even more so than regular because I'm trying to use this skin treatment shit to, you know, whatever. Y'all probably like, this nigga's over here trying to look smacks and I'm tired of it, but whatever. I'm glad y'all were here. I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.